I think it might be time for a classic topic, anonymity on the internet. Or anonymity in any publication, I suppose, but we're all citizens of the web here. Anonymity enables the dark tetrad types, Elon Musk, and unopposed, they will take us all down. It's a big mistake, sir, with all due respect, wrote Jordan Peterson in response to Elon Musk, saying that protection from psychos who will go after your livelihood if you say something they don't like is a primary reason he supports people posting anonymously. I suppose Jordan just prefers enlightened dialogue like "Zuck is a cuck" from identifiable individuals, and is hoping to appeal to a similar desire from Elon. This is, and has been, for years and years, the main clash between people. Anonymity protects people from unreasonable consequences versus the harm it allows outweighs the good. And we also typically see this running alongside the point of anonymity enabling important things to be said versus virtuous use being the minority of anonymous communication. These battle lines are very easy to fight along. Easy, bite-sized arguments can be flung regardless of which side you're on, and everyone's going to understand the point of what you're saying. However, anonymity is a gigantic nightmare topic from hell. A comprehensive video talking about it would last several hours. And then I'd need to make several more several-hour videos if we wanted to nail it down. And even then, I'd be wrong. Which is why it gets reduced to a couple key points for convenience. But that also creates a malformed perspective in many people. Forget right or wrong. I've seen people with a view that is just plainly incorrect. Number one example being the idea that there are anonymous people and there are people who use their name, as in the label of anonymous is applied to the person rather than the post or account. We all understand that you can post without your name in one place and with your name in another, or even in the same place with different accounts, or even without an account, depending on where we're talking about. There's definitely an instinctual impulse though, and I see it all the time, to treat the account or posts as the person. Even on a verified account, you don't actually know who's making the post. They might have a media team, but that's beside the point. Jordan Peterson, for instance, talks of anonymous troll demons versus those who identify themselves. But those aren't two different groups. They're two different behaviors, which an individual can do both of at the same time. No shit, of course, we all know that, he knows that, but slipping carelessly into that way of thinking or speaking creates implications. For instance, that a forum forcing users to identify themselves gets rid of a kind of person. How can there be any anonymous troll demons if no one's anonymous? They'll still be there. They'll still be who they are. They'll still have the same impulses. They just won't have an outlet to indulge their desires so crudely and will have to adapt, become more sophisticated. Won't that be fun? Issue 2 I'd like to bring up gets even more picky, but is still important, especially as it relates to conflict over allowing anonymity and the arguments used. When discussing sites like Twitter or Facebook, anonymity is a misnomer. No one is really anonymous when contrasted with being pseudonymous. There is a difference, and it does matter here. A great deal, in my opinion. Consider historical, and sometimes still nowadays, use of anonymity to distribute information. We're talking flyers passed around or put through letterboxes, leaflets pinned up or put on windscreens. Just information or a message. Yes, as is so often talked about, anonymity here could be useful to protect the author from retaliation, but it does something else too. It creates a reputation barrier. Beyond guessing or assumption, you don't know who the info's coming from. So, what's communicated can't stain them, and your opinion of the messenger can't stain the message. On a site like Twitter, though, a message is never fully detached from the messenger. Reputation is always in play on sites like these. If you get sent something and see it's from an account that exists to spam that link or information, you're going to disregard it as a bot. Or you're never going to see it to begin with because it's been filtered. What you want on social media as someone spreading a message is to have a small number of messages heavily amplified. What you want is a following, or someone with a following to share your message. Uh-oh, though. Either way, your message is now stained by reputation. Either that of your own account or the main node sharing it, regardless of whether or not a personal identity is used. It also cuts the other way, too, in that what you share or post colors your account's reputation. That is to say, so-called Anons on Twitter actually do have skin in the game, despite mitigating potential for real-life personal consequences like someone going after their job. The wild, consequence-free environment where anything can be said to heavily impact anyone that's painted as existing on these sites isn't real. The messages themselves are subject to moderation even. They're not a letter through your door. There is a hierarchy of being taken seriously when it comes to where a message is coming from. There's always something there to judge, even if it's an egg account. You can choose yourself what to filter in terms of what you see, and the extremes are policed site-wide. Think about this. While virtuous posts by whistleblowers are in the minority of anonymous or pseudonymous posting, they're also a special class of post where the message itself carries weight as a statement of fact that can hopefully be verified. It's more something where just the right people need to see it, and it can go from there. On the other hand, nasty insults, opinions, etc. need approval of others to carry weight. And guess what? That approval exists whether or not the original poster uses their real name. If it's never expressed, it doesn't go away. You just don't see it. The expression of these thoughts aren't the thoughts themselves. If it can thrive without a name attached, it can thrive with a name attached. If it can thrive with pseudonymous reputation on the line, it can thrive with real, personal reputation on the line. And if it can't, it's because it's forcefully censored or because of bias or prejudice towards the messenger, not wanting to be seen as agreeing with them, or because, yes, it does then come down purely to unreasonable consequences deterring people from expressing themselves, and not a sense of embarrassment, shame, etiquette, or whatever else is expected to stop people when their names are attached. If no one likes what the anonymous troll demons have to say, it doesn't matter that they say it. If people do like it, and the only way for you to make it stop is for everyone to know who's saying it. I don't know, sounds messed up to me. Let's take things in a different direction for the end, because I've slipped onto the battle lines I described at the start, because they are useful and easy to get people going with. Forget, why do you need to hide who you are? We need to be asking why every Tom, Dick, and Harry needs their name on the web, spewing out massive floods more data than they would anyway just from looking around. That is what's weird. If you're not looking to become a public figure, if you're not getting something out of it, you're an idiot to put more about yourself on the net than you have to do what you want to do. If that's simply how you roll, cool. But anyone pressuring others to identify themselves is categorically pressuring people to make a bad move, even if you're squeaky clean. I mean, in a world where you don't let troll demons wear their masks and everyone's verified, you can't see them anymore. But brother, they sure as hell can see you, and now in HD. But, as usual, that's just another one of my harmful opinions.